do 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 do. Ooh, Johnny's podcast.
That'll do, we'll start with that. Hello, welcome to the Insight Podcast, which is a podcast about insight, which is why we called it that. You know what we do here, I'm very low energy today. So we got some more people from the team. Forgot the word. Genuinely forgot the word. I was about to say crew, you're all actors. So please introduce yourself before I dig myself even deeper into this hole.
Okay, I'll go first. Hi.
I don't dictate the order. You figure that out among yourself.
Hi, I'm Ella Varlin. Do I need to say what departments I work in?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Mainly an actor, but I also help in the finance, marketing, and costume design.
Okay, I'm Lauren, and I've done music, I've helped with makeup, and I've done some PR stuff as well. I'm the actor. Well, the actor. I'm an actor. I'm the actor.
I'm Esme Seba. I am an actor, and I am also on the costume, the set design, the location, and the Eco Warrior group.
That's a lot. I didn't realise you were in that many different groups.
Yes, this is why I am not sleeping and stressed. So. It's fine. I'm happy. It's great.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded convincing.
So you'll recognise Esme from the last thing we did. But the other two here are new faces. I don't know what point I'm making. So we're going to start with the first question, as we always do, which is, of course, what inspired you to all become actors and such? Oh dear.
I'm going to give a very basic, non-educational answer, but it's quick. I love dressing up. I love telling stories, and I love playing, and I love not being myself. And I always have, from like a kid, I've always wanted, it's so cliche, I've always wanted to be an actor since I knew you could actually do it for a living, which I found out around the age of 4. And since then I've just sort of been very stubborn about it. And I think that for me is where it kind of stemmed from, was definitely just the joy of dressing up. And I've always had quite a large imagination, and I sort of just love using that to the extent of creating a whole new person that I can portray. And that was not a quick answer in the end, but basically, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Someone else go?
I think I owe it a lot to one of started with a teacher really, and she just kept being interrupted by a child. And she's gone. I liked one of my teachers. She just kept pushing me, and I was like, I don't really want to do this. And then we picked our options in like year 9, and I didn't pick drama. And she came to my form room, and she was like, can you come here? I was like, what have I done? And she was like, we're going to the office and we're changing your options because you have to do it. And then because of that, I started doing it, found out that I absolutely loved it. And again, it's just playing. Like, I've always just loved to play and like you, dress up, have fun, like become someone else, get into a character. Like I just think it's so rewarding and so fun, and it's such a valuable thing to learn. I think growing up as well, being able to go into a lesson and going into a place and it be safe and fun and educational at the same time. I just think it's so important as well. And yeah, I just love it. Wouldn't change it.
I think for me, going into acting was simply just because it's an escape, and it was. I'm quite an imaginative person, and growing up, me and my cousin, we used to always like make up scenarios in our heads and like run around with like fake guns and lightsabers. And I mean, he's a boy, so I mean, it makes sense if it's going anyway. But
I mean, I used to do that.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know why I felt like I needed to clarify that. But and we used to like run around my grandparents' house, like in the summer, just playing games and just being spies and that sort of thing. And I loved it. And it was like some of the best moments of my childhood doing that. And that's why when I realised that, like Esme, that this could possibly be a career, I was like, well, I've got to do it. And also because I was just really hyper as a kid, I just didn't stop, like ever. I think my parents were just like, let's do something and put her into theatre school or something. And yeah, that's why I like acting.
I also used to really struggle with my speech, and I still kind of do. I have a slight speech impediment, and it was bad when I was a kid. And my mum thought sort of drama classes might help just with my speech more than anything. And I mean, it didn't really. It did a little bit, but not really, because it's different, deeper, and blah, blah, blah. But I think because of that, I then got into the whole, like you said, that safe space of being able to like be a bit of dust on the floor and have no one judge you. Great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, that for me was also a big push, was sort of going, actually going to like my first drama class at the age of 7 and really enjoying it. It was called Bigfoot drama. I don't know why. I guess the creature, the monster Bigfoot, maybe.
That's cute though.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I think
it was
the
free.
first one I went
Anyway,
to was
it was
called
free.
Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Sparkle, yeah.
Treating.
Mine was just called Theatre Train.
That's boring.
Although to be fair, I mean, the first show I ever did, I think I was 5 or just turned 6, and the first show I did was at the Royal Albert Hall. So I mean, I couldn't complain, you know.
Yeah, not at all.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've also just got to point out that my parents aren't pushy parents. Like, I fully want to join the theatre school, just because I know they'll probably watch this and be like, like you didn't, but that's how I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't care. I'd slag off my mum. She won't watch this. She won't watch this. Or she might do, but
My mum will
I'll
say
set it
that
now.
she will. Well, my mum will be like, I'll watch it, and then she won't.
No, my mum's the type of mum who'd watch the trailer for it and think she'd watch the whole thing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Rob's gonna make this the trailer now. This bit.
That's all that anyone's gonna watch is the trailer. That's it.
Just slagging off our mums.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Sorry, Mum. I love you. She can't hear me. She's watching MasterChef. She's happy. She's fine.
Who isn't happy watching MasterChef?
Exactly.
So, another question I've asked a lot of people relating to the film, and the fact that obviously it's all been done remotely because there's been a big pandemic, and so we've not been able to meet up and rehearse in person, and so we've been having our meetings and our rehearsals and stuff like this. So for you guys as actors, how did you find, how have you found that process of doing it remotely and working remotely? Did you find any challenges with it, or,
I think at first, when we all first went on that first call waiting for Rob to join us, and we all just sat there like that was really awkward. Whereas I think if we were in person when we first met each other, we'd be more forced to be like, "Hi, you okay?" Like make small conversation. Whereas we did not do that for the first like 5-10 minutes. But then again, also we are of the generation of like technology, so doing it well, apart from me, you know how bad I am with it, but but over the time, I think it's just became normal for us, and it makes so much more sense because we've had so much more time really than we would have done in pre-production. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, really. Yeah. And I think all of this will become the new norm afterwards anyway. I think a lot of people will do a lot more on Zoom and have a lot more to do with other people from different areas because it's such a good tool. And if it was the course was how it was to start with, I don't think we would have been as friendly or as close or had this many conversations with each other. So in a way, I think it's really benefited us and brought us all a lot closer, really.
And I agree with all of that. And it has, you know, I found it quite challenging because I think, like you as well, I'm not very good with technology. I mean, I still to this day plug my headphones in where my charger needs to go. I can't, it just, and I found it a little bit like at the beginning, I don't think I can do this, you know, constantly kind of on your laptop trying to sort things out, trying to like send things over and stuff. But actually it's been really good for me to just, because as you say, I think this will be the new norm now. I think there'll be more auditions and meetings and all this kind of stuff over Zoom. And it's a great tool because you can connect with so many other people. So I'm really thankful that I'm sort of learning how to do it all properly now. But also, you know, we had rehearsals the other day for the first time and when we had to audition as well. I think it was quite tough because it's nothing quite like acting opposite someone and getting their energy and their vibe and reacting off of them. And you just can't get that connection over a webcam, in my opinion, anyway. You just can't. And I think, especially the kind of scenes that we have in this film, they are quite raw and intimate, and you need that connection. And I think that's been quite tough, especially for me, just sort of doing it over Zoom. So I'm really looking forward to that one day rehearsal that we get before we shoot to just kind of like see everyone and get that energy. But I mean, I'm grateful that we live in a time of such great technology. I just wish I understood it. I'm so lost. Anyway, yeah.
I agree with what both Lauren and Esme have said. I think it is a blessing in disguise. I do think that if it had been done the original way, we wouldn't be as close as we are. And I think that also comes with like when you're emailing or texting each other, you have to really think about your language and your sentence structure compared to when you're in person, because things are obviously perceived in a completely different way sometimes. And so that's why I think it works, or this has worked very well for our group, I'd say, because we all generally do get on really well. I'm so happy to be like in this group and to work with these group of people. And I mean, yeah, I just think it's been very good, better than I had actually hoped for. I wasn't sure at the start because obviously like the first ever call we ever did, it was awkward because no one knew what to say. There was like so many of us, and we all knew that we were waiting for the same one person, but we were all like looking at each other, just like, I don't know if I should smile, do I wave, like, which is ironic since we're all actors. We should have just acted like we were absolutely cool with this. But yeah, it's been fun, but there have been challenges doing it this way. Like in rehearsals, it is hard to get that connection through a camera, and also there are people in this group who don't have great internet, myself included,
Mm.
especially during this time. So you would cut out and then you'll rejoin and be like, I don't know what I said before I was cut off. But no, I think it's been an enjoyable experience, and I probably would do it again if I had to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've said is that, you know, doing it like this now, once we've done this film in the future, if we want to work with people from across the country and we want to start making stuff, we just can. Like, we know how to do it. We're comfortable with doing it like this now, and it's going to make working with people who you can't meet up with so much easier. It's you know, like you say, it is a blessing in disguise. Yeah. So, bit of a fun question now. We'd like to throw these in. I don't know why we do, but we do. So, what is your guys' dream role? That could be a role in a film that already exists, or a TV show, or something that doesn't exist yet, or whatever. What is your dream role?
Can we have more than one answer?
If you've got more than one dream.
I've got quite a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I've got a lot of dreams, man, that need fulfilling. Well, sorry, this is going to be very boring. Roles that already exist, I would love to have played Villanelle in Killing Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, what a role, right? What a character. That's like a wish I'd have. Anyway, that's definitely one that exists. I would love to play either Lady Macbeth or Iago in Othello. Those are like my Shakespeare kind of classical roles I'd love to play. I'd love to play I want to say something in a period drama, because that's my natural casting, as we discussed the other day, but kind of either a character from reality, so like a woman from obviously history, or like a female character in a period drama where she isn't a cliche, you know, she's not a weirdo because she's a strong, independent woman, but then she's not just a weepy love interest. And those roles are quite hard. I always think Elizabeth Bennet is quite a good example of that, where I feel like she's, you know, Jane Austen's got that balance quite right there between her being not just like, oh, my petticoat, oh no, a muddy puddle, but also she's being like, she hasn't been outcasted because she's clever and strong-willed. I mean, she has been by some upper class idiots, but you know, her kind of friends and family and the kind of local people that do accept her, and she's not been like shunned because of it. But then again, at the same time, I'm like, I just want to play like a fairy, you know, and like be really cool. I'd love to be in something like Star Wars or Star Trek, like something very CGI heavy as well, like Lord of the Rings or something fantasy where I'm like shooting a bow and arrow. But yeah, that was a really messy answer.
So what you're saying is your dream isn't to play a prostitute?
No. No, but it keeps happening. I keep getting seen for these roles, and like I said, maybe my headshots need changing. Maybe they're too suggestive in the wrong sense. Exactly, a lot of going on. Maybe I need to change them. Oh dear. Anyway, I've been talking for 1,000 years, so someone else go.
My dream role. I don't have a dream role really. It's more like genres of film that I'd want to be in. I've always wanted to be in like an action film. I just like fast-paced car drives and gun shooting and fight, and just like stuff to do with like stunts. Like I love stunts. Like a Mission Impossible would be like amazing, or like a Marvel. Don't mind being a superhero. That'd be cool too. But on the flip side, I'd love to be a Disney princess. I mean, yeah, I'm just like Moana. Being her.
I see that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Well, actually, no. I would like to be in Star Trek or Star Wars, a franchise, just any franchise, basically that I like anything. Maybe voiceover as well. Pixar animation would be cool to do. But yeah, I don't have a certain type of role that I'd want to do, aside from my usual casting, which is usually like the bad person or a villain, which I can understand, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't want to do them for the rest of my life, really. Just be known as this horrible person, because I don't think I'm that horrible. To be honest with you. Yeah, that's the things I'd like to do.
I would love to do like Disney villain stuff, like Maleficent kind of role. I think that'd be so fun and so cool. But then I'd also love to do like urban things. Like, have you watched People Just Do Nothing?
No.
Oh my God, you're missing out. It's hilarious, and like not a lot happens, but like a Gavin and Stacey kind of role.
You're saying not much happens and People Just Do Nothing? That is a surprise.
No, People Just Do Nothing. It's hilarious. It's like real. Like it's a mockumentary like series basically, but it's just hilarious. Something funny, light-hearted, like not really a storyline, but you kind of get attached to the characters kind of thing. Like, again, obsessed with Gavin and Stacey. I watch it like 4 times a year. Like something to in something like that where there's such a unit and it's fun, and like there's no villains in Gavin and Stacey. Like you love everyone, and I just think that's so rare to find and so rare to write, where no one's a bad person, and it's just fun. Just something fun. Like, as long as I'm having fun, cast me in anything. That's it.
Yeah.
Cast me, please.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm saying that I will literally do anything. I will be a dancing carrot in a co-op commercial right now.
If anyone is hearing this and wants to hire me, I will do anything. Just letting you know, putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't mind reprising the role of a tree.
Yeah,
no.
That's good.
So moving back to the film now, obviously you guys, as well as being actors, working with in the costume department and makeup and stuff. Talk to us a little bit about that. You know, how have you been approaching that, and what have your responsibilities been as part of that side of the team?
Okay. Should I
Go for it.
Because we're just going to stare at each other otherwise. So originally doing costumes, it was just Esme doing costumes, and then I messaged our producer Bailey and basically just said, could I help with costumes, because I was already doing the marketing and finance side, which is great, but I also wanted to have more of a creative part of it as well. And I did costumes for A-level, and so I just sort of thought, well, I'm just going to ask and see what happens, and obviously he said yes, so that was very nice of him to do that. And it basically started with our director Arjun asking all of us actors to come up with 3 colours that are for our characters. So everyone did that, and while we all pretty much chose the same colours, like every actor.
Yeah, everyone was blue.
Yeah.
Blue, orange, and green or red.
Yeah.
Which was like our first problem, because then otherwise it just looks like the majority of the primary colours, which...
A sunset, basically.
Yeah, sunset, yeah.
I was picking them and I'm like, I bet these are just going to be the same, that everyone's going to pick the same colours.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
a lot of them are quite general, like the sort of colour theory that Arjun was getting us to sort of base off. It's quite general. So like, you just make it the most neutral colours possible, and then everyone's in blue.
Yeah, pretty much. So after everyone chose their colours, myself and Esme then started discussing with Arjun and our writers, Bethany, and Padme, what they thought of the characters when they were writing them, what was their vision in their heads. And we kind of all got our heads together, wrote down lots of notes, and then we got back to the actors and asked for their input. And from that, we just sort of started doing, like, we got a spreadsheet, we did mood boards, Esme did some sketches as well, and lots of other things. What else did we do, Esme?
Well, from we knew we wanted to try and source the costumes as much as possible from our own wardrobes. So we kind of started asking people what they had already in their wardrobe, and getting them to do a little photo shoot as well, so we could start seeing what it would look like. So we kind of worked off those photos and decided what we needed to buy and what we could source from either our own wardrobes or the actor's wardrobe. And that was kind of it. And we had a final talk last Sunday where we locked down everyone's final look with the help of Lauren for makeup and hair. And that's kind of been it. We've kind of just been trying to figure out what we need to get from charity shops, or what we can just steal from other people's wardrobes. Because also from an eco side as well, we don't want to buy anything new as much as possible. And there's a few quirky things in our costume that we just had to get from a fashion online site, just because it wouldn't, like orange tracksuits, you're not really going to get in a charity shop, really. And I've looked in basically every single TK Maxx and they're just not there. So we're having to buy those. But then also thinking about their afterlife. So after the film is done, what are we going to do with that garment? And either the actor gets to keep it, or we're going to give it to a charity shop. So donate to a charity shop. Or that's it, really. I think that's the only other option. But yeah, that's because it's been quite a unique experience, because I think a lot of people would think being costume, you either make it or source it from some kind of shop. But as much as possible, we've been trying to just use things we already have and go, okay, well, maybe Esme doesn't wear that jacket with those trousers, but Robin does. So therefore that's a good costume to have. Yeah.
Was there any particular character that was difficult to figure out a costume for, because the person just didn't have those clothes, or they were difficult to source or whatever?
Yeah, there's been a few. I mean, at the beginning, I think I had an idea of Robin in my head, and then Bethany, the writer, had an idea. And personality-wise, they matched, but clothing-wise, she kind of saw her being a bit more punk rock, and I saw her more being sort of quite like Phoebe from Friends, quite like bohemian, and kind of, makes a lot of her own clothes. So when we had a chat and we kind of figured it out, and we sort of realized as long as Robin's personality is the same, then it doesn't really matter essentially what she wears. So Bethany was really, really open to sort of having my idea on how Robin dressed. So that was kind of like the first, not problem, but first little thing. Charlotte, for Detective Lois Avery, has been quite tricky, because obviously she's a professional working woman, and Charlotte's a 21-year-old actor. So her clothes didn't really match at all. Like, why would anyone have a grey pantsuit in their wardrobe. I mean, I don't actually, I've just said that now. I'm sure lots of people out there do, but, you know, Charlotte didn't have one. So we're having to source that, which has been interesting because just, you know, a number of things. It's quite tricky to try and be as eco as possible and also find a grey pantsuit and get Charlotte to try on with enough time to send it back if it doesn't fit and kind of stuff, like all that kind of thing. And I think actually, I personally, either because I'm a female or just because of the nature of the characters, but I personally found the guys harder to dress than the women. I found, especially your character and Christian, quite difficult. I couldn't quite see a vision for them. So
I just dresses like I do. Like,
I know. I think
when I was sometimes I do, like, it's like, yeah, sort of this, and I'm like, oh, so just what I normally wear. Okay.
Yeah, I think those for me, definitely Sam and Christian have been challenging to get their look together.
Which is interesting because, sorry to jump in, Esme.
No.
You're right. I was just going to say,
Yeah.
It's interesting because I actually found dressing the guys easier than the girls. And I think that goes back to when I said about my A-levels, because I started a module in tailoring and suits for guys. And so I kind of had to learn, well, you know, I had to learn how to, well, firstly make a suit, but then that meant I had to do a lot of like fashion forecasting for men and like see what trends and that sort of thing. And like obviously a man's body is completely different to a woman's. And so you have to really think about like the width of the shoulder and the chest and all this sort of stuff, and what works on what body type as well. Because there are some clothes that, like if you wear like a massive biker jacket with like shoulder pads, it accentuates a guy's width of shoulders. But if you put that on someone who is quite short and doesn't have a lot of muscle, it just doesn't work. It just looks odd. So you have to think about what suits these actors' body types and that sort of thing as well. And the same does obviously go with girls, but generally girls know what they like and what works for their body type, whereas some guys don't necessarily. So you do have to sometimes think, like you have to understand where they're coming from, but you've also got to be able to say to them, well, what about this idea? And, you know, sort of hope that they kind of get it and are okay with it. It's like all about compromise in costumes, I think. You give and you take on both sides. But I think it's been a great experience for both of us. Yeah.
And Lauren also mentioned there about you having on the makeup side of things. What is your involvement in that then?
Yeah, so the girls had already came up with like the ideas for the makeup, and then we've been having meetings about like other extra little bits that they might have not thought about. Like I think that one of the big ones was the translucent powder. Like when you're on camera, even if you don't look shiny normally, as soon as you put a camera on, you've got a glare. So it's like how we deal with that and how we make someone's skin look normal on camera, even if it's not normal for you to be wearing that much makeup in real life, kind of thing. And then we've been talking about if any of the boys have questions on how to like apply their makeup or need a step-by-step thing on how to do it, then I'm gonna like write out one of those and then have like maybe some meetings with them and like apply it with them on camera.
Oh no. Don't make me do that. Please don't make me do that.
You've got to do it at some point.
Exactly.
After you've got to do it.
You look fabulous. You look great.
I look great anyway.
You will look how you look now on camera, but you'll just have makeup on. That's the only difference. Just make sure that you match the BB cream to your skin, or else you'll be like, oh, a little bit orange.
Have like a line there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. And then they've sent me a few pictures and ideas and breakdowns of different characters and stuff. So again, if any of the girls struggle a little bit with applying any of their makeup or eyeshadow or anything, I can give them guidance on that. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I do enjoy doing my makeup. So, and then I think one of the other things as well we were talking about to keep it eco-friendly and stuff was getting recyclable brushes and things. So aiming for like wood things and like bamboo and like natural fibres instead of having to get like all the synthetic stuff, which will be a lot better. Anyway.
And cruelty-free makeup as well.
So that's what we've been doing.
And you also mentioned at the start about working on the music side of things as well. So what have you been doing as part of that? I know we recently, I think Arjun and Bailey have been talking to a composer. I'm fairly sure they've got him on board, although I don't want to go confirming things.
So the last thing that I've had, so we've made a playlist from ages ago. We've got like an album playlist where I've just been adding like things for inspiration, like any music, any composers, literally anything that we could find that we're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like put it straight in the playlist, just for inspiration. And then the last thing that I had, a little 2-minute chat with Oscar and Arjun the other day, and they said that we've had 2 composers message us about that they wanted to be involved. And then we're just waiting to hear them and choose the person that we want to be involved with it.
So cool.
It's very exciting, isn't it, that people have been approaching us.
Just that, people want to compose for our film. My mind is blown by that.
They do know we're not paying them, don't they? Or are we paying them? I think we are paying them, actually.
Yeah,
I think we are.
I think we might be paying them.
I'll bake a cake.
Just scare them all off with that.
Yeah,
We're getting paid. It's a joke.
They're both very keen, apparently. They've both been like, we really want to work with you. So that's really cool. So everyone's been putting on social media and been putting out there. People are seeing and getting excited about it. So it's all exciting.
So exciting. It's like 3 weeks now, isn't it, until we actually start filming?
Yeah, I booked my coach today.
Yeah, really close, I think.
God, it's nearly here. I should compose.
Yeah, you can be the singer.
I'll sing.
We'll use you for the lyrics, yeah.
Write a song and play it over the credits.
Absolutely. Please give us more money to go to film festivals. If you enjoyed it, please donate. Hey. And then it will just finish on a picture of my face going.
Or like another High School Musical jump, all of us in the air, like.
Yeah. Donate. Yeah.
Very much in the spirit of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. Whoops. It's like this very traumatic, very heavy, serious
really
film, and then just like,
woo!
woohoo! Yeah, Insight Spectra. Woo!
So another question we've asked, I think everyone, I can't remember. Obviously, this film is being produced by the National Youth Film Academy. So what was it for you guys that what attracted you to them as an organisation and the Set Ready course as an option for you guys?
Honestly, I got an email from them. You know, I don't know if anyone else saw it. It's just like, oh, we're getting these letters and whatever. When I was at uni, I got an email saying, we've got a free workshop in Bristol. Like, do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, I'll sign up, because I lived in Bath at this time, so it was only like 10 minutes on the train. Had nothing else to do. I'd finished uni. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, I'll go. And then Rob was like, oh, do you want to stay for like quick audition, whatever? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Gave us the script, gave us 5 minutes, heard with this. I can't remember his name. Sorry. I'll be on the course. Hi, if you're watching. And then, yeah, literally gave a script 5 minutes, quick casting thing, and then a few days later it was like, oh, can you send a self-tape? Then literally the next day they were like, yeah, you've got a place. And it's like, it all happened so quickly, like I didn't really plan to apply. What am I trying to say?
Plan to apply.
Plan to apply.
It's been a long day. I didn't really plan anything, and it just all happened. And then I was like, oh, okay, like, there we go. And now I'm on the course, and you stuck with me. So
Good.
Yeah, we wouldn't have it any other way. So
good.
Mm-hmm. It came up on Instagram, I think, and you know, you have those sponsored when you're scrolling on YouTube, and it kept coming up on Facebook as well. That sounds like I was frustrated by it. That I'm not. The advert for it kept sort of popping up on my social media, and I was like, this actually looks quite interesting, because I don't think there are many youth things for film. It's mainly all theatre. And I love screen acting. I mean, I love theatre as well, but I've always been drawn to film and TV and things like that. And so I sort of clicked on it, and I looked on the website, and I thought, actually, this looks really good. So I applied, and I started asking around, and a few of my friends had heard of it, and I thought, oh, this sounds like a good, legit thing. And it sort of really wasn't until the day of the audition where we had a workshop, and then I had to do a self-tape. No, we all had to do a self-tape. We had to interview over the phone, because there was like a fire alarm that went off on the audition day, and then we were sort of standing outside. I met Ella at the audition.
yeah,
We didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, this has been like the best love story of my life, is meeting Ella. Like, literally. It's been like, honestly. And yeah, anyway, this is a really long explanation, but I think it was Rob saying, if you're an actor in need of a filmmaker, or a filmmaker in need of an actor, then this is the place for you. And I've always struggled, because I didn't go to a drama school as such. I went to the Brit school, but I didn't go to one of like the big drama schools. And I've always kind of struggled with, I'm not a very good networker. So I don't really know any directors or writers. I don't really know actors. So this was a really great opportunity for me to meet people my own age who want to write things and make films and need actors, which is something I've always sort of struggled with. Knowing people who can who want to make films and then put me in them. So my group of friends is just like a bunch of actors all sitting around us drinking, crying how we don't have work. So this has been really nice to just meet, like I say, you know, directors and producers and people like that, and actually make something. I've forgotten your original question. What was it?
What attracted you to yeah. Which,
sorry.
Answered it, sort of.
It's in there somewhere. I'm sorry, Rob. You'll have to put it together and answer. Basically, what attracted me was the thought of meeting other like-minded young people who want to make it in the industry. Who not just like acting, but they're also writing and directing and producing and stuff. Oh, I can't do this. Sorry, I'm sorry. I've been talking for ages again.
So I'd heard of MIFA quite a few times. I'd had quite a few friends do like different years continuously until this year. And I always liked the idea, but I wasn't sure if I would get in. I think that the worry of not like the rejection, but I just was at a time where I wasn't sure whether I was potentially going to be good enough to get in. And I applied last year, and I think I applied in 2018. Sorry, I really forgot what year was in then. In 2018. But I didn't get a response, so I assumed that I was just after the deadline. I think I was, to be fair. So I didn't get a response. Then I applied in 2019, but I also applied for National Youth Theatre in 2019. And I got into NYT, so I cancelled my audition for this because I knew that they were going to overlap. And then I reapplied this year, and well, now I'm here, obviously. But I think what drew me to NYFA was like Esme. It was just the fact that it was a place to network with people who were around my age and to not be intimidated by them. I think when you do network and you network with like the industry professionals, it is intimidating because you're like, you might be like, I've seen your work on stage, I know your work, I know all your credits or whatever. And there are people in this course who do have great credits. Like there are some amazing people. But I think because we're around the same age, there's just a common ground that it's very like, you're going to like a couple of the same things. And obviously talking to an adult who could be like 20 years old to you or like even just 15 or whatever, it is that thing of like, oh, I don't really know what else to talk to you about. And it's also that thing of like, I don't know, I always feel like they're probably like, why is this person potentially approaching me? And you're like, because I want a job. You know what I mean? And you're like, can't really just say, can you hire me? But when you speak to people who are your own age, you're just, oh, have you seen this film, or do you like this musical? You know, there's just more that you can talk about, and then you are on an equal playing ground. And yeah, that's what drew me to it. But yeah, I did not think that I would get in. And actually, when I spoke to Rob about it, he was like really surprised that I didn't think I would, and I was like, I didn't think I would. Like, I just did it because it's an audition, and I decided that, you know, I had to do it. It was out of my comfort zone, and I had to do it just for my own being, really. And then obviously I met the lovely Esme, and we've been as thick as thieves ever since. But yeah, and now I think everyone else that I've met, you're just stuck with me. Like, that you're stuck with me. So, Bonnie and Lauren, what can I say?
Not letting you go.
Yeah, I think it was just knowing that it was going to be a safe place to go that drew me in.
And also, I think have some control over your career, because as actors, anyone in freelance, you know, you have no control over your own career, you know, unless you're like up there, you know, and you can decide when you want to work, basically. But you know, right now we're all just kind of, we don't really know when our next job or when our next audition is going to come in. And I think for me, doing this, I knew that I would be doing filming a short film in August. You know, I knew I'd have something to work towards. And that for me was very desirable. So yeah, that was another attraction, was sort of having a tiny little bit of control in a very uncontrollable industry, which is quite satisfying. And and just meeting people that hopefully will work with again in the future, and just keep making really exciting projects.
So I'll be honest, I don't know how I'm going to segue into my next question, so I'm just going to tell you I don't have a segue, and that'll do. The next question is, when we started doing sort of auditions within the group, with two of us improvising, that's the word, you know, with each other and stuff. How did you find those, starting to act with other people, you know, like this? Do you have any funny stories from those, or what would your experience with those like?
One audition I've got to bring up is mine and Lauren's. I think one of the last ones that we did, it was so hard. Basically, it was like, to give it context, in the improvisation, we both were at our best friend's birthday party, but it was like there's like a trio of us, and obviously a trio doesn't really work that well in a friendship, because people are always closer than the other two or whatever. And basically, myself and Lauren, we were fighting over who could out the other person in celebrating this other friend's birthday, while being prompted by Beth, our assistant director. And she like sent me, we started out like just arguing, and well, not arguing, but like just battling over
the mic.
Yeah, we're just like battling with each other about why we were the better friends. Then I got a message from our assistant director, and she was like, start singing. And my mind went blank. I was like,
yeah, I
can't remember a song. I can't remember anything. It was funny. When I think about it now, I'm like, why didn't I just sing Happy Birthday? Like, it would made perfect sense. I forgot that even existed. And she kept texting, and she was like, sing a song, and she's like giving me songs, and I was literally, I don't remember the lyrics for that. I don't remember.
But she didn't give you Happy Birthday as a song.
No, I think she
I think one was Britney Spears.
Yeah, one was Britney Spears, which I didn't.
Solid choice. Great choice.
Yeah, I'm not a Britney Spears fan, so I was like, I don't know anything. So it's like, that doesn't work. I think what I went with was, I think I went for like a Dua Lipa song or something, or Rihanna.
I can't remember.
And then I did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air rap. So I was like, oh, I think I know this one. And it was funny because Lauren was told to like join in, or I think you just joined in yourself, didn't you? Actually.
Yeah.
But we both basically just like got our hairbrushes. And it was just like, it wasn't even planned. It was just suddenly we were both just like, no, we're singing. I think that was the funniest one I ever did, because it was just mad, and I panicked so much. I think
those last ones where Beth was messaging people really seemed to be the ones where she just like threw the most insane things at us.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that one actually.
I remember I was with Alex, and we were doing the park bench exercise.
I was with Ella for that one as well.
Yeah, and I think I can't quite remember like the intention now, but I think I was the first time I was sitting on the bench, and Alex had to get me to move off the bench, and I didn't want to go, but Alex wanted me to go, and she sort of kept on coughing, which was very relevant. And for some reason, I was like, oh my god, like she's coughing in the room, and then I realized that she was on the computer and was acting, and probably so that was quite bad. But then we had to swap, so then she was on a bench and I had to get her off the bench, and I couldn't think of anything because my thing was going to be like throwing up or coughing. I was like, Alex has already done this, I can't do that. So then suddenly I was just like, oh my god, an alien's going to land on you and kill you. And I was like, you have 3 seconds to move. And then like the 3 seconds went by and she didn't move. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to like keep being like, you have 10 seconds. Oh, the aliens are coming. And she was like, no, they're not. I was like, yes, they are. My calculations. It just spiraled into like me trying to recreate a scene from, what's that program? My parents' aliens. Yeah, I was just basically recreating a scene from that. I think I was thrown by Alex coughing and me being so paranoid about COVID. When I was like, she's not even in the room. She's in Scotland, and like it's over the computer. But yeah,
I got a prompt from Beth. I was doing one with Oscar, and I got a prompt to pretend I had coronavirus. So I'm like, okay.
No. Oh no. God. They were strange auditions. I was so nervous. I don't know why, but I remember sort of texting Ella like before we had them being like, I'm sweating, I'm so nervous, even though I know like it's such a, like, well, you know, we're all friendly and you know there'll be no judgment and whatever, you know, but I just remember being so kind of.
It's just vulnerable though, isn't it, when you first?
Yeah, and especially doing it over Zoom as well, you know, like it's like faulty internet and stuff, like half the time I think I was frozen. So it was it was like a stressful experience. But enjoyable. But yeah. I think I just remember the nerves more than anything, which is really bad because they were so fun. And it was the first time we got to act with everyone. But I just remember being really nervous.
So we got another fun question now. This question, I mean, it might be, you might not find it very fun at all, but so if you were to do this same process, go through the same process again, but in a different role to the one that you are doing, which is actors for all of you. I don't know why I have to tell you if you don't know. But if you were to take on a different role in the process, what role would you take on?
Ooh. As in like a production role or a different character or
Like different production role, like producer or writer or director or whatever.
I think I want to write because this script is been like it's very good. Like, sorry, but it is very good, and I think I would have loved to have been part of the process of like how they got there because it's just so. Even like the first draft of it was great, and I was like, whoa, not a lot has to change. Or I think we had to cut it down a little bit, but I think that was
I think we also added in another. I think we added in another scene for you from the.
Yeah. I think I would have really enjoyed because especially like even like creating the characters and doing all the profiles for them and then figuring out relationships and stuff like that. I think that would have been really interesting to be part of. But yeah, definitely writer for me.
I would probably actually be doing costume. I love clothes and I love styling people, and for me anyway, it's so important to help me get into my character. Like one of the first things I do is figure out what they're going to look like and what they're going to wear, and I've always loved that whole process. And whenever I watch anything, I'm like, oh, that costume's great. So probably costume or what Ben's doing, DOP, because I love photography and I love just putting everything together and like connecting like the acting scenes to like the cutaway shots. And I mean, I wouldn't know where to start because as we all know, I cannot work technology. I love photography, and my dad is also a focus puller. So I've kind of grown up more centered around the camera really and how that works and how what it takes to get that perfect shot, which sounds really like cliche, but I have massive respect for the entire crew. So I definitely like something involving not being a director because I would find that too much, but definitely like a DOP or something like that I'd really enjoy, or costume.
I'd probably do maybe director or producer. Actually, I've been assistant director on some shows and things, which like great experience, and I did love it. And I like producing. I like that sort of side of things as well, the very like analytical side, as well as the creative. So yeah, I probably would have wanted to be a producer or director. But then again, I really like music. I mean, as I mentioned before, we're like theatre trained. It was a musical theatre, so I did singing, and my singing teacher that I ever had, the first singing teacher I had there, she was called Geraldine. I remember the first song she taught my group was the Friends theme tune. And we were like, we were young, we were like 4 and 5. And I remember all of us, there's only maybe like 6 of us in the class, but we were all so awkward and we wouldn't do the clap. And if we did do the clap, it was like out of sync. But I remember her just being like really supportive, and I think she could see in me that I was really passionate about singing more than acting actually when I was younger. I always wanted to go on X Factor. Don't ask me why. I just always thought, I'll go on it. Now I wouldn't wish for it, but when I was growing up, I was like, yeah, one day I'll be on X Factor. And she really kind of made me feel like comfortable with singing and everything, which, looking back to like the rehearsal that me and Lauren did, mortifying like with singing.
Yeah.
Go on, don't
my
take this as singing. So yeah, I would have liked to do sound as well. That would have been really interesting to do. That's a very long answer, but yeah.
What about you, Johnny?
I was at, this is the only question that gets turned back on me, which I'm not. That doesn't mean you get to turn the other ones back on me as well. But because I asked this one also to Beth and Anna, and they sort of turned it back on me, and I think I said writer. I think very much for the same reason as you, Lauren, just to be part of that. Also, because I just like being in control myself, like a lot of stuff. I just like doing myself. So just being a part of that creative, and I don't have the patience to be a producer.
Nah.
I don't know how Bailey does it.
God, no.
No.
Honestly.
So yeah, I think I said writer, just to be a part of that creative process and get to make some of the decisions, and which we've been fortunate enough to do, anyway. But that was sort of the answer I gave because I couldn't think of anything else, really. Because they're not questions for me; they're questions for everyone else. Yeah. So we mentioned briefly earlier about looking at the eco side of things. Obviously, we're working with the Greenhouse, which we did a special podcast with Ollie from the Greenhouse. If you've not seen that, go and watch it. It is genuinely, it's very informative and interesting.
It's really good.
I don't clearly show that I don't know what I'm on about in it, which is great. It's always good when I embarrass myself. I'm doing thumbs up. You can't see them. We've got an eco warrior team. So yes. So what have you guys been doing on the eco team?
We have there's quite a really, really, if it happens, a really big kind of like partnership that we hopefully will be doing, which I can't say anything about, which is exciting to say. I've always wanted to say that. I can't say anything about it right now.
That information is confidential.
No comment. But if it goes off, then it will be really, really exciting. So we've mainly been working on that because there's quite a lot of lovely, charming paperwork to do. But really, we've been trying to figure out how we can make our set and the process, the whole filming process, as eco and sustainable as possible. So that goes back to buying costume and makeup and props as well, and thinking about their afterlife and where we can source them from, but also how everyone will get to set every day. So I think most of us will be getting public transport, which is great, or walking from our accommodation. We've also been talking a lot about how to keep us as safe, like from COVID as possible, but as sustainable as we can. So, making sure everyone has fabric face masks rather than the disposable medical waste ones is a big thing, because the amount of PPE that is being discarded in the ocean and on the beaches and just in parks in general is disgusting to see. I don't know if you've seen any pictures of like fish and ocean life just sort of being suffocated by masks and gloves. It's really, it just makes me so angry. So, and also on our set, we're not having any gloves either. We've made a decision to wash hands every 10 minutes basically and use anti-bac gel. So that's a good thing for the environment. And also, I personally, anyway, whenever I wore those gloves, I was far less careful because I thought I was protected. So I was touching my face and everything. Whereas when I wasn't wearing the gloves, I was constantly washing my hands, still am. So for me, anyway, I'd rather not wear them because I'm just more, what's the word? Sanitary, more clean that way. More hygienic. There you go. This is why I wouldn't write. I'm more hygienic because I'm aware that my hands are exposed to germs. We've also been looking at more sustainable antibacterial sprays because also we're going to have to clean things and work things down. So we're going to be using paper towel that have been used from, recyclable pieces of things. Don't put that in. That was not eloquent. I'm
going to leave it
paper
in.
towels, recyclable paper towel things. Oh, you know what I'm on about. It's like, come on, it's nearly 10 o'clock at night. I can't talk anymore.
That's true, it is. I mean, that's why my screen is, the quality on this is it's
shocking.
Because of the light, yeah.
Yeah. But the other day when I was out food shopping, I found this company called Ocean Saver, and you basically buy an empty plastic spray bottle, but you then buy these reusable drops, which you then put in the spray bottle, fill it up with water, shake it, and then you have antibacterial spray, which is still 99.9%, death to all bacteria. So it's really good for COVID. But then you don't have
all bacteria.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes.
Yes.
And then basically, when that death to all bacteria spray is gone, instead of chucking out that plastic bottle, you rinse it out, you get a new droplet, you put that droplet back in, you fill it up with water, and you can reuse the plastic spray. So we're going to be using those on set. This is I've been talking for 1,000 years again, so I'm going to stop talking. But basically, we've just been sort of setting up ground rules that everyone on set has to follow. Bringing your own lunch if you can, and bringing, a reusable water bottle. Unfortunately, because of COVID, coffee shops aren't accepting keep cups, at least none that I've been into. So it's either just bringing your own as much as you can, or making sure that where we are getting our coffee from, they are using recyclable coffee cups and not using a plastic lid, literally just getting your coffee and trying not to spill it when you walk back to set. Yeah, that's that.
It has been quite a long one because we've been talking. That's not me saying our answers are too long because we've had a good discussion. But we're at the final question now.
Woo!
Which is, as always, if I can remember it right, what are you most excited for people to see in Insight?
Amazing acting. Generally, it's going to sound very sloppy, but just for people to see hopefully how hard we've all worked, and to see a film that's been made when none of the cast or crew, apart from me and Ella, and I've met Arjun before, have met each other, because I don't think that's really ever happened before until this pandemic. I don't think really a film's been made where none of the cast and crew have ever been in the same room. So I'm really looking forward to people seeing our talented writers and what they produced, and a whole crew and cast just doing that stuff up on the big screen. That wasn't an answer.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe don't use that.
I can't wait for people to see how, kind of like how well we've worked together, but how well each department has understood each other as well, because everything is like so cohesive, from like the posters to the mood of the film to the music that we're going to be using to costume, makeup, like the set, locations, everything. Like everything has been thought about so well, and everybody has in each department has thought, okay, how's this going to work with this? Like none of us have gone off on a tangent really and done our own thing. I think we've came up with an idea, came back together, and I think that is going to really show in everything, in pictures, like I said, music, acting, costumes, set, everything is going to work together, and I'm so excited for people to be like, oh, that's really clever actually. I'm very excited.
I think for me, God, I always make that like a for me emphasis. It's like, God, we get it. I think it'll just be, I hope that our experience and like these podcasts and like the little takeover videos that everyone's been doing on Instagram and things like that just shows you that when you come together with a group of people that you've never met before, and you all have the same mindset and you all know what you're striving for and where you're going, that anything is possible. Especially like if you look at like our crowdfunder, we raised over 5,000, which was our target. And I remember when it was first mentioned, I remember just thinking, I don't know if we're going to reach that target. I really don't know if we could. I didn't lose. I always hoped that we could. So I'm not saying that I lost faith or anything. Like, I always hoped that we could, but I think at the start I was very apprehensive, especially because when we did start working together, it was towards the beginning of the pandemic, and I was myself and everyone in financing. We were very aware that people weren't going to get paid as much as they originally would if we were working. It was just a normal, our old life, so to speak. And I think it just made us really, really have to think about the details. And I don't know if we would have thought about everything in such depth that we have during our time in this pandemic compared to when we would have been together. And I just want this experience to be a reason why younger generations who potentially and hopefully watch our film, watch it and go, okay, yeah, I could do that. I know that me and my friends could do that. And also, I mean, I'm like, to bring in diversity, like I'm mixed race. Arjun is Indian, I believe. But has like, there's lots of cultural backgrounds. Why are you laughing, Johnny? Have I got it wrong?
No, just because you're uncertain about it. I believe he's Indian, yes.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I've never asked.
No, neither have I. But I think, I don't know where I'm going with this. But basically, I think growing up, there wasn't a lot of actors or even like people in crew that were black or mixed race for me to look up to, especially women as well. That was like a big thing. I was like, I don't know if this is necessarily an area that girls could go into. So with our group, it's nice that that we have like female writers. We have a female assistant director, a female assistant producer. It's quite female led, which I think it's just extraordinary to me, because I really wasn't sure how this would pan out. I wasn't, there was no way of telling who we would get to work with. And that's part of the beauty of the whole process. You are put with people that you wouldn't necessarily work with otherwise. And when you all come together and communicate well and work as a team and just enjoy the whole process, it's just a brilliant experience. And hopefully people will want to do this and even take part of MYFA in the future from our experience. I think that would be the biggest thing I want people to take away from it.
Yeah.
And that nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
As well. That's what I think.
Also, I just thought of something.
Yep.
That seems so bad to add on, because what Ella said was being beautiful and so well worded that I feel like the awkward uncle just coming in with this next comment. But also going off what Ella said as well, just the fact that you can actually make a film sustainably and eco-friendly, because I think for me, I think I've said this quite a lot, but other than, I mean, to me, and I think hopefully to everyone, diversity is the biggest problem facing the industry at the moment, and I think it's the main thing we need to tackle. But then also just making it a more sustainable industry, because I think the show business in general is so wasteful.
Yeah, really.
It's kind of, it uses, so much stuff, but also it's such a big platform as well, that I think for me the next big thing is just making a more sustainable and environmentally friendly business. And you don't have to fly that A-list actor from Australia to LA to do a 2-hour interview. Like, do it over Zoom, I think if we can show that you can be eco-aware, and it's possible, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money, because nothing, it's going to save you money, like buying secondhand costumes. We've saved a lot of money just buying things secondhand rather than for brand new. That it's possible you can still have a really great film at the end of it. And I'm really excited to show the older generation, our generation, and the younger generation that it's possible. And it is the future if I have anything to do with it. So, yeah.
Wow.
It was so bad. Please end on Ella's point. Don't end on my.
Mine wasn't-
It was like, if you believe you can do anything. I'm getting teary here. I'm very hormonal. I'm on my period. I'm just gonna say it. I'm very hormonal.
I was really questioning.
I feel like I should probably edit that out.
Nah,
Why? It's a natural thing.
Okay, no, fine.
Also, I've just noticed that I've color coordinated with my room.
I love that.
Which I've got gold and red Buddha heads and a painting, and I'm wearing a red shirt with gold earrings and my gold hair. I'm like, and I've got a gold cushion. I'm like blending into my background.
You're blending in. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could just in my head. Like, that's it. God.
It's a beautiful face, though. Beautiful.
No.
Yes.
Let's not end on that note, because it's just awkward. Because now I don't know. Oh God.
And on that note, we're going to end the podcast here. So thank you for all coming on and having a nice long discussion. And thank you for watching. I think this is going to be probably the longest one we've done, just because we said a lot.
Sorry.
And it's all good stuff, I'm not going to edit it out unless I do, but I probably won't, but I might. If you're not following us on our social medias, then go and do that. Links to all that will be available. You're probably watching this on the YouTube. They'll be in the description, or on the website. They'll be on the website, so you can go and follow us on all those places and support us. I'm so used to like plugging the crowdfunder, but the crowdfunder's over now, so look out for. Yeah, just give us your money.
Give us your money.
But look out for the film and the promotional stuff for the film. as of recording this, we've just released another poster, which has some of us on it, but mostly me.
And me.
Yes, it's not just me. No. And a new trailer we released as well today. So more stuff like that is on the way. So look out for all that stuff. And that's it. That's the end now. So we're gonna say bye-bye, and Esme's gonna sing us out.
Johnny's podcast. Ooh.
Bye, everybody.
We've reached the end. Follow us.
Wonderful. Bye-bye.
Bye.